Okay. Good evening, everyone. We'll get started in about 4 more minutes. We'll give people a chance to hop on. Let's see who's on so far. First of all, let me check my microphone. Can you hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, if you would indicate so in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. And good evening. Good evening, Jeanette. Marcel, good evening. Michael and Rose, good evening, and welcome to the ECC 11 Strategy Training Work Group. We are just going to give it a few more minutes. It looks like that we've got news at 8:30, AUD USD news at 8:30. So we're going to check and see if that's going to impact the market any. I mean, AUD USD is really selling. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to get started in 1 more minute. Hello, Harry. Glad to see you were able to make it. All right, it is 8:30. And again, I'd like to welcome everyone to the ECC 11 Strategy Training Work Group. Again, my name is Teresa Webb, and we have AUD USD news at 8:30. That's why I have this particular pair on the screen right now, because I want to see if in fact this news is going to impact the market. So, just to give you a little bit of background information about myself, I've been a student of Dr. Kathy's for, it'll be 2 years in May. And as you know, Dr. Kathy is the queen of the cloud, and she created the ECC 11 strategy. Hold on just a sec. Dr. Kathy is the only educator that I have followed. And the reason for that is because of the fact that, when I first was introduced to Forex, it was just complex to me. But I found that by following Dr. Kathy, she had a way of making it just simple. And so simple that in my first month trading live, I was actually taking her signals and I profited $500 and I was only trading 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents a trade. So when it's working, you stick with it, and that's what I've done. So the first thing I'd like to ask is that do we have anyone on tonight that is new to either Vibrata or new to the ECC 11 strategy? If in fact you're new, if you could just put a 111 in the chat, that would be helpful. Jamie, okay, welcome, Jamie. Anyone else new? Jimmy Howard, okay, welcome. Nat Scarborough, welcome. Okay. So there is a push in the market around this time. So for those of you that have been on with me before, if you don't mind, I want to keep AUD USD on the screen. So if you don't mind, if you would please just go ahead and scan the market and see if you see anything and let me know. Chitra is new as well. Welcome. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I know I didn't. If you see anything moving at all, just let me know and we'll take a look at it. But I do want to keep my eyes on AUD USD for the next 5 minutes or so to see if in fact the news will move the market. And for those of you that are new, after the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, what I'll do is we'll actually go over the settings of the vibrata and the strategy of the ECC 11 so that you become more familiar with it. This is a session where nobody gets left behind. So if in fact you have any questions at any given time, feel free to put those questions in the chat and we'll get them answered for you today. Okay, Tony. When the web analyzer calls a trade on the 1 hour and 4 hour chart, how many pips can we expect? Well, Vibrata, the algorithm is set for 10 pips no matter what time frame you're on. Now, sometimes you may see more, but the algorithm is set for 10 pips. 3 to 5 if it's a 5 minute time frame. Anything over 5 minutes, 10 pips. That's how the algorithm is set. But if you see something more, of course, you can get more. Hope that answers your question. I do not have any more volume to give you, Share. I'm speaking loud right now. I've put the mic as close to my voice as I possibly can. The only thing I recommend is that you wear headphones. You're welcome, Tony. Okay, no movement with AUD USD. Let's see what we have. Someone told me to use indicator Heiken the candles, Heiken Oski candles with ECC 11. Is that correct? Well, I think it's your choice. I do prefer them for the most part because I think that everyone that uses the Heikkinen candles, I think that you should study them. What I learned from another trader is how you determine momentum when using those candles. And we can talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I use them and I like them. Okay. Hi Latifa. I'm in a buy with NZDJPY. Oh, you were in that trade too. Yeah, I was in it earlier today too. Trying to decide if I could close it out. It's not a large account, so it would be it's not a large account, so it would be a big loss for this small account. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at it. Um, give me a second. I'm just trying to watch NZDJPY. I mean NZ. I mean AUD USD. I'm going to go to my other chart to look at NZDJPY. So give me a second. If you guys see AUD USD moving, could you let me know? Okay, NZDJPY was a buy, correct?
Yes, it was a buy.
I'm looking at the 15-minute. It is still selling. Let me see how far it's going to sell. I have to go to a higher time frame. I'm going to go to the H4. That candle appears to be, take a closer look. That is a sell candle, and it looks like we have 20 minutes left on this candle. So let's go to the daily. The daily candle is a sell candle, and you're looking at 20 hours, 20 minutes, and 38 seconds on the daily. So at least you know that as it relates to the daily for the next 20 hours, NZDJPY is in a overall sale. But let's face it, there are pullbacks. When I look at the cloud, it indicates it's going to continue to sell for the next 20 hours, but there will be pullbacks because nothing is continuous. Um, so if you wait on a pullback, it may not. I mean, these are the options that are available to you. If you feel as if it's, my first recommendation is don't blow your account. Um, if you feel uncomfortable, get out. Next thing is that you can wait on a if you don't feel uncomfortable, you want to wait on a pullback so that you're not losing as much. That's a possibility. Um, and of course, the last recommendation would be to ride it out if you want to. If you have an O1 lot size, maybe you could ride it out. I don't know. But those are just decisions that you'll have to make, but it's going to be in selling for the next 20 hours based on the daily. Well, I do not ever recommend getting to the point where you blow your account. I mean, anytime you get in a trade, you should know how much you're willing to lose. So obviously, some of you are not, maybe not using stop losses. Since you're new, I highly recommend that you use stop losses. When I first started trading, I used a stop loss. I learned how to not use a stop loss. But now we have what is called risk-free trading. Once your trade gets into profit, you at least put your stop loss in profit. So yeah, I mean, you got some decisions to make. I've given you some options. I've looked at the market. The only thing, again, I'm going to look at the 5 minute. That's probably the only time frame I did not look at. And my computer is not allowing me to move over to the 5 minute time frame. So I'm going to move on. And I guess AUD news did not impact the market at all as it relates to AUD. AUD USD. What I usually do before I start trading for those that are new is that I go to, and I'm going to put it in the chat. For those that are new, first thing I do is go to forexfactory.com and I look to see if in fact there's any red or orange folders because those folders usually impact the market. And I look to see if in fact there are any, you said AUD USD is moving. It doesn't look like it's moving to me. Okay, I look to see if in fact those particular folders impact the market. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for some impulsive candles as a result of that move. So you're looking for red or orange folders, or if you have three yellow folders in a row under the same pair, that could be, news that could really impact the market. Then I actually go to FinViz. Let me type this in the chat. And that gives, and what that particular site does, it lets me know which pairs are the strongest. When you go to that site, the first thing that you're going to see is the Dow. You'll see the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So when I went there right before this session, I saw that they were moving, they were buying, all three of them. At the end of the day, they were buying. And then I go to Forex. Then I click on, I select Forex, and then I take a look at the Forex pairs to see, what their strength is. If in fact those pairs are selling in a strong way, they'll be really, really bright red. If they're buying in a strong way, they'll be very, very green. So you can see the percentages on each pair as it relates to the strength. And those are the pairs that I usually look at first to see if I want to trade them. And I find that to be very helpful. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the settings for the Vibrata for everyone that's new. So if you would please just pull up your web analyzer and we'll go through the settings. Now, what I like to do is start at the bottom. If you could just follow my cursor where it says strategy. Oftentimes, if you're new to the Vibrata, Dr. Kathy's ECC 11 strategy will not be here. So you just click on strategy and you will get a screen that says Web Analyzer settings. And then if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see where it says pick a strategy. And if you'll look to see there's a small arrow that goes up and one that goes down. If you'll just click on that, you will see Dr. Kathy Kirkland's ECC 11 strategy. Click on it, save for mobile Safari desktop. Scroll down to turn Cha-Ching on off. Turn it on and a blue circle will be around the on. And then go up to save settings and reload. And you now have the ECC 11 strategy on your screen. Okay. Then if you go to the left side of your screen, you'll see Vibrata Web Analyzer. And you'll see time frames, the M5, M15, H1, and 4. All it means is that if you're on the M5 time frame, if you receive an alert and a trade and a particular pair is the M5 time frame, all that means is that each candle represents 5 minutes. M15, same thing. Each candle represents 15 minutes. So I'm sure you get it by now. What I usually do is deselect the M5. Now I want to tell you why. Because the algorithm for the Vibrata is set, whereas if in fact you take a trade ideal on the 5-minute time frame, you're only going to get 3 to 5 pips out of that particular alert that trade idea that was called. Now I particularly want 10 pips. That's the only reason I deselected. Now if 3 to 5 pips is good for you, and just go ahead and keep it checked. But for me, I deselected because I want 10. Underneath the time frames, you will find the alerts for the different pairs. Now, if in fact, this has changed a little bit, but if the bar on the left is blue, it is or green. I'm colorblind, so I guess that's green, blue, green, or something. That's a buy. The trade alerts are buys. If it's red, they're sales. Okay. Underneath the trade alerts, you will find there's 4 buttons. The first button will give you trade alerts for Forex pairs. The second will give you trade alerts for cryptocurrency. The third one, indices, and that's your US 30, your GER 30, France 40, etc. And then the fourth one, your metals, gold, silver, etc. To the left, you will see, let's see, there's a question here. To my knowledge, this algorithm is set for 10 pips. It doesn't matter which pair it is. It doesn't matter whether it's indices, cryptocurrencies, metals. It just doesn't matter. To my knowledge, this algorithm is set for 10 pips if in fact you take a trade idea from the 15-minute time frame and up. What was I doing? What was I talking about? And metals. Okay. To the left side of the screen, you will find power trades. And LP is the London payout. Now, if you don't have the London payout, I highly encourage you to get it. It's only an extra $10. And Dr. Kathy, she gives out pending trades Sunday night through Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she gives you pending indice trades. So that's your US 30, your SPX 500, and I think she also does NAS 100. Okay, so those pending trades, she'll give you those pending trade ideas at 11 p.m. And oftentimes, by the time you wake up in the morning for her 3 o'clock session, because I know all of you guys will be on her 3 a.m. session on the Vibrata channel. By the time you wake up for your 3 o'clock session, oftentimes it will have already taken profit. Okay, so, and at a minimum, you're going to profit probably around $30. So it's well worth the $10 that you're spending because because if you're talking about $30 5 days a week, that's what, $150 a week. $150 times 4 is what? Over $1,000 in a month. So it is definitely well worth your $10. You've looked in the shopping cart and you don't see LP or London payout. Does anyone know how to access the London payout? Anyone on here? Carrie, I may have to get back with you on that. I'll find out and get back with you ASAP. Will you send me a text message so that I can look at it right after this training, Harry? He's on my team, guys. Okay, perfect. Let me see. All right, so we talked about, and right here on this window, when you click on London payout, right here on this window, you will see this is where you will find her pending trades. And any trades that her and Kevin Serrano call will be in the London payout. All right. Okay. Now we're going to go over to just take a look at the indicators. Now, for the most part, I'm sure everyone knows Dr. Kathy's story and why she named the strategy the ECC 11 strategy. Of course, I started trading, studying with Dr. Kathy. I've been a student for hers for 2 years, and I learned how to trade from a naked chart with the Ichimoku cloud as the indicator prior to it being transitioned into the web analyzer. So, and it's still the ECC 11, but the name of it is the Ichimoku cloud. And as you can see here, well, before I go into the indicators, let me make sure your setting is correct. Right where it says Ichimoku, the settings should be 6, 13, 26, and 13. Now, oftentimes, if you're new to the web analyzer, it will be 9, 26, 52, or 54, or something like that. So if that's the case, let's go into settings and we'll click over to inputs, and your conversion line should be 6. You can change it here just by clicking on it and changing that number to 6. Your baseline should be 13. Your lagging span should be 26. Your displacement should be 13. You go to defaults and save as default. Then you want to go to style. Your conversion line should be red. If you're new to Vibrata, it may be blue. So you click on that circle, on that square, change it to red. And at the same time, I would recommend that you thicken your red line so you can clearly identify it on the chart. Your baseline is blue. And I recommend thickening that line as well. Your lagging span is green. Click on the green square. And I definitely recommend thickening the money line, the green line. Go to defaults, save as default, click OK, and now your settings are correct. Now, in terms of the cloud as the indicators, as you can see, the cloud is, the Ichimoku, all it means is just taking one glance. You can take one glance at the market and you can tell which way price is going. And as you can see by looking at this cloud, price has been selling. You can see that it's going downward. That lets you know that price is selling. All right. And then it gets to a point where it goes straight across. Well, that means that price is consolidating. It's important to know how money flows. Money flows up, when price is going up, you're buying. If price is going down, you're selling. So if price is going sideways, that means it's consolidating. That means that the market is balancing out. So therefore, you do not want to enter into a trade when price is consolidating, because you get trapped there and you can lose a lot of money there. So you want to get in a trade when price is going up or either going down. The outlines of the outer lines that the cloud is outlined in red and green. Now, I'm sure in the academy, I know all of you have gone through series 1 through 400 at the bare minimum. They talk about support and resistance. Well, this provides your support and resistance. As an example, right now on this particular pair, GBP USD, price is below the cloud. Now, if in fact it's selling right now, if in fact it chooses to pull back, it may pull back and hit this area of resistance right here on this green line, and then it'll bounce off of it and come back down. Same thing would hold true if price was above the cloud. And that's how your support and resistance work. It's like the floor and the ceiling. So the other indicators are your Chiku span, which is the green line. Some educators refer to it as the lagging line, but Dr. K refers to it as the money line. And the reason for that is I'm going to tell you, this is my dominant indicator. I love this indicator because it is the first indication of which way price is going. Now, I'm going to explain that a little bit more later, but I just want you to know that this is the first indication. This moves price first. Then the candle follows the money line. The next indicator is the Tenkan-sen, which is the red line. The red line we refer to as the signal line. And it lets you know, as you can see, price is going sideways. It lets you know that. See, as you can see, the signal line is moving to the right, sideways. Oftentimes you will see this red line sometimes pushing a candle either up or down or sideways. And then the blue line is the signal line, as you can see it here. If in fact you do not know how to put in a stop loss, you're gonna go to babypips.com and you'll go there, and it's like a calculated electronic calculator. You will put in your how much capital you have, how much you want to risk, 1 to 3%, and then it also tell you where your stop loss should be. Well, if in fact you don't want to do that, another way to determine your stop loss is to follow this blue line. We refer to it as the stop loss line, even though the proper name of it is the Kijunsen, if I'm saying that right. But you would just put your cursor on the blue line, and as an example, for this particular pair, the stop loss will be set at 1.15702. Okay. One of the things I was not able to do yesterday that I would really like to do today is show you, let me see if I have any questions so far. Oh, I do want to go over the money line before I get into showing you how to trade from the alert. So the money line, I use this to tell me where, so that I have a good idea of where price is going. Now, right now, you can tell price is consolidating. And we know the overall trend is a sell, even though it's consolidating right now for GBP USD. But what I'm going to do is try to find a pair where I can use as a good example to give you an example of how to use the money line. Okay, let me see if this is it. Let's see if I can go to a higher time frame, maybe. Nope, this has been selling a long time. Let me go to this one's been selling a long time too. GBP. Let me try GBP JPY. I really need a good example. Let's look at EA. Oh, EURAUD. Well, my goodness. Let me go to the. Wow. Oh dear. Let me see. Okay. Let's look at NZDJPY. I'm going to see if I can put this on the daily and show you. Nope, it's not going to work. I really want something to be very clear for you, because I just think this money line is so important to learn. Okay, let me see if I can do it on this one. When you look at the money line, as I said before, it's the first indication of where price is going. And what you do is that you look to the left to see, in this particular case, NZDJPY is selling. And I'm on the weekly time frame. So I'm going to literally look to my left to see where my next lowest low will be. And I'm looking to my immediate left. So I'm going all the way over here and I can see that price. I'm going to take my ruler and I can see that price is right here. And I'm looking for my next low below price. My lowest low. And I don't know why this thing is doing this. Sometimes me and this ruler just don't get along. Let me try this again. So it looks like price may go down another 213 pips. Maybe. I'm going to try this one more time. Bring it down to here. 57,223. Price is here. So it's going to be another close to 300 pips, all right? NZDJPY. And I'm on the weekly, okay? So there's going to be a lot of pullbacks. But my point is, you use the money line to determine where price has been because the market, it's a man-made system and nobody's changing it. The algorithm stays the same and all it does is repeat itself. So you look to the left to determine where price is going in the future. So we know that price is going to sell to at least 58,597. So what I would do is apply that information to the right. Let me see if I can use the brush on this. I know that price is going to at least, let's say 59,055. I can remember that. 59,055. Arrow and the brush. Let me see if I can do this. You apply that information to the right. So this is my candle. And I know the price is going to continue to go straight down. Here. Forget, I know my lines are crooked, but I said 59,055. But you get the idea. It's going to come to there. So you take what, you look to the left to find out what price is done in the past to determine where price is going in the future. After it gets here, you know it's going to pull back. So what would I do? I would take my same information, the brush, apply it to the right. It would come down to here, and then it would go up. And that's how the money line works. And it is definitely very accurate. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is that the way the algorithm, the strategy for the ECC 11 is real simple. You don't even have to be concerned with the money line. I just do because that's the way I was taught. But I was originally taught, the first way I was taught to determine how to take trades was the red line crossing the blue line. Now, the way the web analyzer, the algorithm for the web analyzer is set, when you get a trade idea, it's because the red line has crossed the blue line. So anytime you have the red line, say for instance, like now, the red line is below the blue line, we know the price is selling. If the red line crosses the blue line and it's above the blue line, we know that price is buying. So anytime you catch the cross, you know that you're going to get 10 pips. But it does not matter what time frame you're on. If the red line is above the blue line, price is buying. If the red line is below the blue line, price is selling. Now, if in fact the red line is under the blue line under the cloud, that is a strong sale. If in fact the red line is above the blue line above the cloud, that is a strong buy. Okay. So just wanted to make that clear. A couple questions. When pulling up a pair, does it matter which broker you choose? No, it does. If you have the vibrata, no, it doesn't. The only time I think that comes into play is if you're using the other I can't even think of it. The one that comes with your platinum package. I can't even think of the name of it. Somebody type it in if you know which one I'm talking about. What is it? Oh well, I can't think of it. But no, it does not matter. The only thing that matters is that understand that the web analyzer, it is sometimes it uses trading views, sometimes it's Oanda. The only thing that you have to be concerned about is what you have your system connected to, because the numbers may be off. So in other words, like I know my phone, because my phone, when I look at my phone is connected to Hugo's Way. So I know that price on my phone is reflective of the price associated with my broker. However, when I use my other MT4s, they're with different brokers. So I know my price may be off just a little bit. Well, that same could hold true with the web analyzer. It may be different than your broker's price, but it's not going to be by that much. I don't know what I did. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is show you, like EURNZD is you get a little cha-ching when you get the alarm when a trade is being called. And what I like to do is I look at the time. The first thing I do is look at the time passed. Now we're just going to use this as an example, but I want to get in a trade when the time passed is no more is 3 to 5 minutes. All right, not to exceed 5 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look to see. I know that this is a buy on EURNZD, so I'm going to click on EURNZD, and the market's going to appear. Now, I'm going to look to see if the red line is above the blue line, and it is. Price is above the cloud, so that tells me that this is going to be a strong buy. So I'm going to go to my trend line. I'm going to click on horizontal line, and I'm going to just click on anywhere on the screen, and my horizontal. Hold on just a second. You have to turn that off, baby. I'm on the live call. Turn it off. Go in the other room or either put your headphones on.
Well, my mommy don't want me to go downstairs back and forth.
Well, find your headphones and put them on because I'm on a call.
It's on. It's turned down. It's turned down.
Okay. All right. I need you to let me have the phone. Excuse me, you guys. Give me a second. Okay. You just click anywhere on the space on the chart, and your horizontal line will appear. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to
We
settings.
can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't? Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So, the first thing I'm going to do, as I indicated before, I'm going to check the time passed to make sure it's within the first 5 minutes. Then I'm going to go to the trend line, and I'm going to click on horizontal line, and the horizontal line, and then I'm going to click on the chart, and the horizontal line will appear. Then I want to go to settings. And what I'm going to do is input the called at price, which for EURNZD is 1.90103. Click OK. And the line should make the adjustment, and it didn't. So let me do it again. Click on the trend line, click on horizontal line, click anywhere on the chart, go to settings, put in the called at price, which is 90103. Click OK. And it's made this adjustment. Then I know this is a buy. And it's on the M15 time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another horizontal line. Click horizontal line. Click on the chart. And I'm going to add 10 pips to the called at price. So that would be 90203. Click OK. This is really a tight 10 pips. Let me try this again. Something's not right. Delete this. Delete this one. I'm going to do this again. So you get plenty of practice today. Trend line, horizontal line. Click on the chart, settings. This is 90103. Click OK. Trend line.
Absolutely. And then the other thing I don't particularly like is that whenever you purchase something online, they have your email address so that they can confirm your purchase and all that.
Okay, horizontal line, click anywhere, go to the settings. You want to add 10 pips to the called at price, which would make it 90203. Click OK, and it's still really tight. Okay, I guess that's right. But anyway, what you would do is wait for.
Places, they ask you stuff like what you're using, and these prices like you're supposed to give it to them automatically.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to give that. Don't want to give that. Somebody was calling me up about some insurance and asked me.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so all you would do is just wait for price to come into this range, and you would enter into the trade. You know it's a buy, so you would be looking for a blue candle. You would be looking for a blue candle to come to hit this line, and then by the time it comes out of the line, you will have taken profit. So that is typically the way I do. This is what I do when a trade idea is called, I just want to make sure I'm looking at it to see if I'm ready to get into that particular trade or not. If this trade, it was called 4 hours and 22 minutes ago, and you can see it's already taken profit and it's still on the move. Are there any questions? Okay. You still can't see the screen? So you guys still can't see the screen? Can you see it now? Okay, okay, great. Okay, why aren't there any new potential buys? Good question. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago, crypto, metal 6 hours ago. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if the market's moving. This one was 6 hours. I don't know. I'm clueless. That's a good question. Let me make sure there's no other questions. Can you go back to how you measured to the left with the ruler, please? Do you look left to see the possible move? Yes, I do. Let me see if I can find a good example. This definitely is not one. USD, JPY. You don't always have to go to the higher time frame. I'm just trying to find a good example for you. But I take the ruler. What I'm looking for, since price is going up, I know it's a buy. I'm looking to the left to see where my next highest high will be. I click on the ruler. And what I can see is that price is actually the next highest high will be here. I'm gonna take this a little bit. I'm gonna take it down to the daily. Okay. Now, even though you can tell from the daily that price is going to sell and then it's consolidating, it looks like now price is pulling back. So I'm going to get my ruler and I want to know where my next highest high is going to be because I need to know how how far is it going to pull back. So I get my ruler, get my ruler. Just trying to get these circles off my chart. Give me a minute. Okay, I get the ruler and I look to my left because I'm looking for my next highest high above price. And this is how I measure. And it looks like, I'll just say it's going up to here. This is not working for me. Let me try this one more time. Price is here. I look to my left. The next highest high is here. I can't see how many pips it is. It looks like it's 441 pips. And you know there's going to be a lot of pullbacks. I mean, you can look at these candles and see, there's going to be red and blue candles. And even though this is the overall, because of the fact I'm on the daily, even though this is the overall, when I look at this price is pulling back right now. But you know that when you're looking to see what the pullbacks are going to be, you're going to move to your 30-minute, your 15-minute time frames, okay? But that's how I use the ruler to look at the past to determine where price is going to go in the future. So I know just based on where price is right now, I go to get my paintbrush and I click on my paintbrush and I know the price is going to do something like this. It's going to go up, it's going to pull back, and then it's going to go up again. Make sense? Whoever asked the question, here you are. Did that answer your question, Barbara? I cannot raise my volume anymore. I'm sorry. You have to use headphones. I've got it at its loudest. But did you get your question answered, Barbara? Were you able to hear me? Okay. The other question, it's the 5 minutes mean the time you have to enter the trade when it's called. Well, that's the time frame that I use. Um, it just kind of lets me because see sometimes the trades, once once the alert goes off, sometimes the trades are hit very fast. Oftentimes it may pull back because um price constantly retraces itself, the market retraces itself. So sometimes you have pullbacks, which you may want to wait before you get in the trade, because sometimes, it'll hit really fast. So I just kind of gauge it 3 to 5 minutes. Does that answer your question, Marcel? Okay. I think I answered everyone's question today. Okay, perfect. And if I recall, I think that in one of Dr. Kathy's trainings, I think she may have said, within the first 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not sure, but I know it's in my brain, 3 to 5 minutes. Yes, that's why you wait for price to enter into the range before placing a trade. Exactly, Kim. If now all of my recorded videos are not posted, but I do know that there are some posted in on Dr. Kathy's YouTube channel. So if you just go and search on Dr. Kathy Kirkland ECC 11, you can probably pick up a recorded training or two. Okay, everyone. Thanks for hopping on. This concludes our session for today. So happy trading tomorrow. Remember that Dr. Kathy will put pending trades and London payout tonight at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's face it, we want Dr. Kathy to have the #1 educator status. So if you're able, get on at 3:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on her live session, as well as if you can get on her 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time session for the New York session. And I think tomorrow she may be doing a trade-a-thon. I think. But you'll have to check the chats on that. But let's get her back to #1 status. I mean, we're the ones that will make it happen. So good night, everybody. Have a blessed evening. You're welcome. You're welcome.